I'd like to call the Township of North Huntington Board of Commissioners work session meeting for Thursday, August 14th, 2025 at 7 p.m. Roll call, Manager Falk.
Commissioner Hempel,
Here.
Commissioner Atwood,
Here.
Commissioner Gray,
Here.
Commissioner Zona,
Here.
Commissioner Bevan,
Here.
Commissioner McHugh,
Here.
President Hagus.
Here, could everyone please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. If any residents would like to speak tonight, could you please sign the book at the podium? Thank you. Our first resident's Nick. If you could just come up to the podium, state your name and address for the record, please.
My name is Nick, and I'm a resident of North Huntington Township. Members of the board, on July 27, 2025, I was unlawfully arrested in the public lobby of the North Huntington Township Police Department, a space open during business hours with no ordinance, resolution, or Pennsylvania statute lawfully prohibiting my presence or my recording. The sign posted on that door claiming no audio or video recording has no legislative authority. Under our township's own code, as published on the E360 code website, signage restricting public conduct must be based on enacted policy or ordinance. Without that, it carries no more legal weight than if an officer decided to put a stop sign in the middle of someone's driveway. Police officers do not have unilateral authority to create law by posting a sign. The affidavit of probable cause for my arrest was authored by an officer who at no time engaged in the incident. We know this arrest was warrantless because it occurred on July 27th, yet the affidavit of probable cause is dated July 28th. This means that at the time of the detention, no sworn statement of fact had been presented to or reviewed by an issuing authority. And for those that don't know, an issuing authority would be a magistrate. I believe the arrest was carried out for no other reason than to prevent us from retaining the footage of our encounter and to attempt to gain unlawful access to our data in order to identify who's working with us to expose corruption in the township. When the police realized after we posted the video that we retained the footage, they were forced to file charges to justify their actions retroactively. Pennsylvania rules of criminal procedure govern exactly how a warrantless arrest must be handled to protect the accused's constitutional rights. Rule 440 states that filing of criminal complaint, what the law requires, a criminal complaint must be promptly prepared and sworn before issuing authority without unnecessary delay. North Huntington Police arrested us, placed us directly in a holding cell, and began processing without any criminal complaint in existence. The affidavit of probable cause was not written until the following day. I mean, you can't make this stuff up. Rule 441, procedures following a warrantless arrest. What the law requires is, if not immediately released with a summons, the defendant must be taken without unnecessary delay before an issuing authority for a preliminary arraignment. To this day, we've yet to be in front of a magistrate. We've never been arraigned. You never even arraigned us. I mean, this is basic due process in this country. You guys have made a big-time whoopsie. This is a big whoopsie. It's partially why I'm so calm. You guys are so screwed. You've also violated Rule 510 and 540. I'm going to give all this to Rich Gray. He can give it to all you guys. I have the affidavit in here. These are blatant lies that don't go with the video. But Mr. Zona, you're on record in this very room stating that sometimes the way things happen in the field are not how they're written in the incident report. Well, that's grounds for a Frank's motion, for a Frank's hearing to challenge the validity of the affidavit of probable cause, which I will be doing. Now you all get to see me litigate. Good job. Good job. And then, we'll just use your own policies, right? I'd like to state for the record, too, that I'm going straight to the Court of Common Pleas. They put a sticker on my paperwork. I'm not even going to the magistrate for a preliminary. I'm going to a senior judge in the county. That's weird. But as I stated, here's your police department guidelines. And you even reference in here your warrantless arrest procedure and how they're supposed to follow code rules 440 and 441. You guys that was a strong arm robbery. We were tied up, we had our biometrics taken, and then our shit was stolen, and then as we were leaving, they wouldn't give us any paperwork. How do you just get to grab a citizen, take their things, and not give them any documentation? They wouldn't even give us an inventory list of the items they took from us that we could just sign just to have a record of what was being taken. The warrantless arrest policy you guys have state that it has to be a huge public safety issue or property damage. We were doing nothing. What we were doing was we were asking questions about the stolen cars that were used in drive-by shootings. We were asking about the methamphetamines and the guns that had been found. Yesterday, we had a senior citizen beat up at McDonald's. And you guys give no answers on any of this. Our chief of police still does not show up. You left me no other option but to go to the police department directly. I've been at this for over a year and finally showed up to the police department. I've tried every avenue set forth for me to handle these things with you guys by the rules, but none of you want to play by the rules. And it's ridiculous. I'm going to take this to jury trial. I'm going to fight this as high as I need to fight this, and I'm attaching myself to everybody's pension that I can attach myself to, and I'm taking everything I can take because what you guys have done to me, I'm the sole caretaker of a kid right now. All his medical stuff is in that phone you guys
I'll give you a little
took.
time to finish up, but if you could finish up for me, please, I appreciate
Listen,
it.
I'm talking about a real grievance right now involving very
Yeah.
serious matters. Listen, your
The
5-minute
way
rule doesn't...
public-
Okay, then just do this for me, Zach. I don't want any issues with you guys. Just tell me that you are giving me an order that I must stop speaking now, understanding that I'm doing it only under fear of retaliation.
The way our public input works, you get 5 minutes. I'm going to give you
Can
some
someone
grace
just
to
say, I'm
wrap
trying to
up.
work with you guys. I'm just asking for this to be on the record, that I do not relinquish my time to finish my grievance because this is a very serious matter, but under fear of retaliation, because I've been retaliated against for over a year, I will comply at this point because of what you guys showed me on July 27th, that I'm behind enemy lines. I'm in Nazi Germany. There
All
is
right,
no
Nick,
help for me.
I appreciate you. Thanks.
So can you please just say that? That you're ordering me to leave, there will be consequences.
Public input works is you get 5 minutes to speak. Like I said, I gave you some grace to finish up, but if
Then
you,
just tell me that
I'm
if I
asking you to
don't,
sit down.
what will happen if I
I'm
don't?
going to ask you to leave if you don't.
And if I refuse to leave?
Then I'm going to have you escorted out.
By
because-
the police. You're going
Correct.
to use the police to remove me if I don't forfeit my right to speak. That's all I needed. Is that correct?
No, I'm asking you, the way public input works is you get 5 minutes. Every
Well,
resident
see,
gets
now
5
you're in a
minutes.
pickle because I'm being real reasonable here with you. I'm giving you no reason to
Nick,
sick
you-
your
you can-
goons
you
on
can
me. I'm
either-
just
you can-
asking
you
that
can
the
either
record,
leave
I would just like the
or sit
record to be
down.
clear. I'm not done. So you're telling me that if I don't stop, that you will have, there's
Officers,
consequences.
do you want to escort Nick
I
out?
mean, I said I'll leave. Okay, well, okay, you guys gonna come escort me out then?
Unless you want to leave by yourself.
Well, I don't. I'm just trying to get the man to just say it for the record, McCurdy. I don't want no problems. I'm just asking for him to clearly state for the record. That's it. Well, can you please just state it for the record?
I'm asking you, your time's up, so you can either
If-
sit down or leave. It's up to you.
So, okay, so if I don't,
Sit or go.
so if I don't forfeit my rights, I'm gonna be escorted out. That's how this works?
All right, our next resident's Alan. Alan, if you want to come up to the podium, state your name and address for the record.
I mean, is this real life? This is real? This is happening? Rich Gray, you're okay with this, sir? Okay, well, I'm gonna take off, guys. The one thing I'll say is I have pictures of black mold in the high school. I would suggest not giving them a reduction on the building fee until they address the issues in the high school.
All right, Alan, appreciate
It's
it.
more and more money being thrown down the toilet.
My name's Alan Silverio. I live at 149 Skellytown Road. I think the new land lease ordinance that's being proposed before us is a big step forward for more detailed than past approaches, but I also believe there are additional items that would make our decision stronger and protect the township in the long run. Firstly, I believe we should require proof of insurance, or at least the ability to obtain it, so we're not approving proposals that leave us exposed to liability. The remaining items I will speak of should be addressed within the required business plan that's in line item 1. Within this, we should ask for an operational plan with hours, staffing, and maintenance schedules so we know how the property will actually be run day to day. Also, clear public benefit statement will ensure projects align with our community's needs. Finally, a community impact mitigation addressing traffic, parking, noise, and safety concerns is critical so we can spot problems before they happen. These additions wouldn't overburden applicants but would help us make informed decisions that are also lower risk. I'd also like to speak to my opposition to the current proposed business ordinance that's being advertised at the moment. As a business owner in this township, I'm very concerned about the language in the business ordinance, especially line item 4, which gives the township the ability to revoke a business license if an employee is convicted of an illegal activity. I have a serious problem with this. Current laws at the township, state, and federal levels, as well as constitutional protections, already provide more than enough tools to deal with criminal conduct. This addition is repetitive, unnecessary, and unfairly punitive towards business owners for actions they did not commit. Revocation for an employee's conviction, even if the business itself has no direct involvement, opens the door to abuse and selective enforcement. It's an overreach that puts every business in constant jeopardy of losing their livelihood for something outside their control. We already have processes for code violations, criminal prosecution, and license discipline when a business itself is at fault. We don't need to duplicate those or expand them without clear justification. And when I look at this ordinance, I have to ask, is it even necessary? I see two big issues. First, it's duplicative. Again, state law and our existing township rules already cover business licensing, code enforcement, and penalties. Second, it's vague in enforcement, giving the township staff broad discretion without enough checks, definitions, or clear limits. The risk here is that we end up with an ordinance that's more about adding power to revoke and control than about actually improving health, safety, or economic conditions. That's not the kind of environment that attracts and retains businesses. If we want growth and prosperity, our focus should be on removing unnecessary barriers and enforcing the solid rules we already have, not layering on vague, repetitive, and potentially damaging ones. Thank you.
Thank you. Response to citizens' input? Actually, I'm sorry. If anyone else would like to speak tonight, didn't get a chance to sign up, you could come up to the podium and say your name and address for the record.
Amy Getchin. I live on Dennis Circle. We said this at the Parks meeting, but there is a tree down at Braddock's Trail. There's actually a few trees down, but one gigantic tree down. And I don't know who trims the trail, but there's a lot of overgrowth. So there's like grass going across the trails, and it's starting to become like tick season. So I just wanted to make that on the public record to the commissioners also. But we did tell Lydia at the Parks meeting.
Thank you. Is there anyone else that would like to speak tonight that didn't get a chance to sign the book? All right, thank you. Response to citizens' input. I know Alan brought up about the ordinance for land lease. I believe that's on the agenda. The board can address that at that time, and also brought up some concerns about the nuisance business ordinance as well. If the board had any comments on that. Then we'll follow up with our park and rec staff, and I'm sure they'll get that issues taken care of, Amy. Thank you, though. Any other responses to citizens' input tonight? All right. Work session discussion topics, Manager Falk.
Sure. Item number 1, the Norwin School District building permit fee reduction request. Norwin School District submitted a letter request to reduce the permit fee. The Norwin School District has approved the $25.4 million renovation of its stadium. As part of the project, the township will charge the district $170,750 for the building permit. In July of 2022, the Board of Commissioners declined to waive the $15,755 permit fee for the district's new roof. However, in February 2023, the board approved waiving the $345,907 permit fee to the North Huntington Township Municipal Authority's $46 million treatment facility, charging only for administrative costs so far. The township has collected $3,033.72. Is there any discussion on wanting to do the same for the Norwin School District or keeping the permit at that price?
Based on the scope of the work, Do we have an estimate on what those administration fees would be?
We don't, unfortunately, but we'd imagine it's probably ballpark around $5,000 to $10,000 for the scope of work.
Are we actually able to accurately track that cost?
We have been tracking that cost. There's an invoice in there for professional or engineering fees and professional services that we've been keeping track for the NHTMA project. And that's how we came to the $3,033.
Is that project complete at this point, or is it still open? HCMA,
I believe it's still going on.
still open?
Yes.
Okay, so there's a chance that could be higher than that, we just don't know yet.
Correct.
In the spirit of cooperation, I would consider waiving it.
Yeah, I also will agree with Commissioner Gray on that. Just for the sake, of course, that, trend that we did for the North Huntington Municipal Authority, if we can keep tabs like we see from the municipal authority on it, I'm in favor of waiving it also. And I do want to make a comment of the resident that mentioned about the mold. If anybody has watched, although this is a totally different meeting, I understand, but the Norwin School Board District meeting, they have that mold under control. So I'm confident myself as a resident that Norwin School District is taking care of that mold situation.
Any other board comments on waiving the fee? Yeah, I'm as well okay on waiving the fee long as we recoup any staff time and money spent on the project.
Yeah, I'd agree, just charge the administrative costs associated.
Okay. Thank you. Item number 2, the waste management contract extension. As you know, the current garbage collection contract with Waste Management expires on December 31st of this year with a mutually agreed optional 5th year. The fixed price for a 96-gallon cart is at $28.96 a month and will increase to $30.12 per month. After looking at a couple other collection rates, Greensburg Waste Management, it's going to be at $29.86 a month in 2026. West Deer Township has county hauling, and it's going to be $36.86 a month for 2026. In Elizabeth Township, it's currently at $32.20 a month, and it's going up to, I believe, over $33 in 2026. Does the board want to consider doing another year with Waste Management, or do you want to look at bids? I suspect that if we go out to bid, that it will be significantly higher than the $30.12 a month.
Agreed. Can we maybe apply pressure to them to service the residents a little better? I get a lot of complaints about missed pickups and trash on the streets after they pick up because nobody cleans it up, the driver doesn't get out. I know we do track complaints, right?
No, we don't, just mentally, but there was.
I thought that's why we had the tracer system.
Well, yeah, we can keep track of there, but we have a lot of complaints that we get in from you guys and from citizens calling in, which we can pull the records of our emails of the complaints, but
Well-
if you guys get a complaint, you guys send it to me by email, and I forward it on to the route managers, and it gets taken
Right.
care of, but that's
And
not,
they do get taken care of
right.
pretty much, but what I'm looking at is building a database, and that's what I thought we were doing with Tracer, entering the complaints for the next contract negotiation. So we can say, here's where
Yeah.
if we declared them not a capable bidder, or we would need something to back it up.
Yeah, we can start collecting, we can go back and enter that from the emails. I can tell you that over the summer, we as internally noticed an uptick in complaints, and we reached out to Waste Management, to the route managers, and it was just, people were on vacation, it was temporary
Yeah.
drivers coming in. We've had a lot of complaints over on Drop Road, but that's because of the construction that's going on, that I guess the garbage trucks can't go over some of those steel plates that are in the road due to weight concerns, so they have to take a smaller truck. But I can tell you that the complaints that we have, we send it to the route manager, and they get resolved within 24 hours.
Generally.
About 95% of the time.
Yeah. There's been a few that sat for a few days.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, I'd be okay with that too. And I was going to say, there is some issues here and there, but I would say with my experience, anytime that I email the manager, they are taken care of, usually that same day, anything I've ever had, or if not, the next day. I've never had an issue. And I will say, I see garbage on the street sometime too, and not defending Waste Management, but in their directions, you're not supposed to have loose garbage in your can. It's supposed to all be bagged, and that
Right.
would. And I see people in my neighborhood go out and dump stuff in their cans. So there's loose garbage. That's how that gets on the road. Again, Waste Management takes steps and tells people not to do that, to make sure it's all bagged. If everybody followed that rule, there would be no trash on the road, I believe. But I don't know. My experience with any issues that have arisen have been resolved very quickly.
Agreed.
I'm also going to agree. I just have one ask, and there again, if you don't ask, you don't know, right? So here's a resident, just a few residents actually, asked me, is there any way that we can negotiate, if we continue with that year, that we could ask if they could do another bulk pickup per month?
I can look into that.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're just saying maybe one bulk is not enough, that if we can ask if,
It's not a bad idea.
don't know.
Yeah.
My only question about the garbage is, can we cap the cost to the seniors? Now, we have the senior sticker and then the senior discount rate. Is there a way we, excuse me, we can try to have them cap that so it doesn't go up at the same amount? It looks like the total's going up $1.16, and it's going up $1.02 for the senior discount, so it kind of hits them a little harder.
I could always ask.
Yeah, appreciate that.
Any other board comments? I think Manager Falk, you got some direction.
Thank you. Moving on, the ordinance establishes procedures for leasing of township-owned land. We went through last month, made those changes and corrections that the board requested. At this time, or is there any additional changes that the board would like to see with this draft?
I appreciate the corrections being made in sections 1, 2, 3, and 4. I still have issues with section 5. I think it needs to be tightened up a little in the regards to if another organization submits a similar proposal, I think that needs to be a little better defined. What is similar, offering the same services or same opportunities? I think a little more detail in that. Board of the Commissioners, during the time that a current proposal is being reviewed or considered, the board will review all proposals prior to moving forward to the next step. What is the next step? What does that phrase mean? Moving forward to what? There is no number 6 here.
I see that.
I think that's bad.
And then, I just, let's see, the last thing, all proposals to be considered at the same time, and that proposal, meaning what is it's kind of vague. What is that proposal? Does it mean the one currently or precedingly is submitted, and then we'll revert to step 4? That part I do get. I just think we need more kind of legal language in that of what that proposal is.
Okay.
Does that mean the current proposal under review, or if it does, it should spell it out? And then I think we had said, maybe I missed it, if there's a similar proposal submitted, that would reset the clock on the current one.
I think that's what they meant by the, consider at the same time the proposal will revert back to the step 4, which would start the
Okay.
clock back for that 90 days, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay,
It is.
maybe that should be added to it, reverting to the step 4, restarting the clock. So there's, if this ever comes up, people could fight it on vague and imprecise language. So it is a legal document.
I would even expound on that a little more, and what Rich is talking about in 5, if another organization submits a similar proposal, does it even have to be similar? If a
Right.
company comes in and wants to lease a parcel for whatever, for a sports complex, and then as we're reviewing that, somebody comes forward and says, I want to lease that property to put a strip mall or to put a restaurant. It's not similar, but should we,
What about similar use proposal?
or do we even want similar? Do we want it to be just any other proposal? Because
For that property.
for that property. You know, somebody can come in, we can get a proposal for something, and somebody can come in 30 days later with a completely different proposal. Does that, if it's not similar, then according to this, we can't even entertain it. So I would even say, just say, if another organization submits a proposal to
Right.
the board, I think, just to,
I agree with
Yeah.
that. Good catch.
Same parcel.
Okay.
We want that to stay for the same parcel.
right.
Yeah.
Any other board comments on the proposal outside the changes requested?
We'll take this back and present another draft next month.
Thank you, Manager Paul.
You're welcome. All right. Item number 4, the tractor and mower boom. In September of 2023, I applied for a $192,000 grant to purchase a tractor and mower boom. In March of 2024, it was announced that the township has been awarded $70,000 towards that purchase. However, the board did not approve the purchase order for the equipment totaling $175,670 until August of 2024. Following continued delays and discussion with the vendor, the township was led to believe that the delivery of the equipment would take significantly longer than expected. As a result, in June of 2025, the board authorized the township to solicit bids for the equipment. 2 bids were received, and the lowest being $90,000 for a tractor that was used with only 45 hours of use. After the bids were advertised, the original vendor contacted the township to report that the equipment had arrived and was being assembled for delivery. The vendor asserted that the township was legally obligated to complete the purchase, despite the purchase order only having been approved and no formal contract signed. Following a legal review of Solicitor Dice, it was determined that the binding contract had been formed. The township had signed a purchase order on September 18th, 2024, which constituted an offer, and the vendor had accepted it. The purchase agreement included a clause stating that delivery was subject to the vendor's ability to obtain the equipment from the manufacturer, and that delays due to factors beyond the vendor's control could not constitute liability. The vendor's action of ordering the equipment from the manufacturer was deemed sufficient and established a binding contract, making the township responsible for the purchase of the tractor and mower. So we did have that budgeted for that. We were going to use the $70,000 grant towards the purchase and then finance the rest of it. So we have to get that. But with the bids that came in, we did receive one for $90,000 and another one for $204,392. That's very similar. So you can see just in 1 year's time that the price of it has increased from $175,000 to $204,000. But Director Holensky has requested the purchase of both mowers, and will explain in detail the need for both mowers.
Good evening. First of all, I don't want to get off subject to that, but I do want to tell you, we are aware of the tree. It's a massive tree, to the point where we're considering moving the trail. But we are aware of it. It's just not something that's we could deal with immediately. We've been out to look at it, trying to get some different opinions, but it's going to require more than just trimming. So we were made aware back in May of this machine that exists out in Darlington Township. And went to take a look at it, took our mechanics out, and the machine is 2016. It has 45 hours on it. The plastic is still on the seats. At a price of $90,000, would be foolish not to take advantage of it. We've always had two mowers, one guide rail mower and one roadside mower. Over the past few years, the guide rail mower just kind of got junked. I mean, it's so old that it just wasn't functional. We actually went to weed whacking the guide rails instead of using the mower. We're being so inundated with work orders on roadside mowing, it's getting out of hand. And to be able to stop with one machine and do the guide rails and the roadside mowing all at the same time, we just never get done. So I would like to see the board purchase both mowers so we can become a little bit more efficient in our service. Also, the mower that is coming in from U.S. Municipal, the brand new mower, has a flail head, which is better for roadside mowing. It's what the county uses. It minces the stuff up to practically nothing. The mower in Darlington Township, or out that way, forgive me for not the exact, it's in Latrobe. It has a brush head, very similar to what we have now. That mower was actually designed for farm use to cut a dam on a pond on a farm. It's a very long arm, so it'd be very advantageous for us to use not only on roadside mowing where we can cut higher, but we can also use it to cut retention ponds and reach way down into the retention ponds. So we'll be able to do a lot more things having both machines. I didn't want to get off on a tangent, but our retention ponds are completely out of control. We're spending hundreds of thousands of dollars, and we're not able to get back to do anything with them maintenance-wise after they're cleared by private contractors. That's a whole subject for another day. But that's just another, with this machine, we'd be able to do a lot of work on the ponds, even in the off-season. We'd be able to ride the rim of the pond and reach way down in and eliminate a lot of handwork or small machine work. But the bottom line is it's an outstanding value for us to take advantage of. And in closing, I'll say this. The mower we have is somewhere between 22 and 25 years old. It runs every day from spring to fall. We did have the motor rebuilt, I'm sure you might remember, a handful of years ago. But it's reached the end of its life for the most part. But someone can make a heck of a farm tractor out of it. If we advertise it to bid, we're going to get a fair price for it. That being said, again, not to get off, but we're going to have our street sweeper sold, so we're going to be bringing some more income in from the municipal bid type of stuff, which we'll get into that in the future, but there's more revenue coming in from a used piece of equipment. So if anybody has any questions, I'll be happy to answer.
Hey, John, the John Deere, the $90,000 one, is that privately owned currently?
It is.
It's privately owned?
Yes.
And that's this paper, that's from Binky Road in Latrobe, is that where?
Yes.
Yeah.
I
okay.
suppose that's the address, I'm sorry. I
But
don't
it's,
have- I
it's
don't
just
have
a
it in front of me.
residential, is it they use it for residential?
It was bought for use on a farm.
Okay.
And what would be the warranty on the used one?
Uh, Rich, I'm sure the tractor may be out of warranty. I can't swear to the facts of that. But being in 2016 at 9 years old, I'm not sure what the motor warranty would be. Some things carry 10 years. But at that cost savings, we'd have to spend a heck of a lot of money to make repairs to get anywhere close to a new price of a new one.
Yeah, if I may, I've been going back and forth about this too, because the budget season's coming up and I anticipate a lot of big purchases for the public works. But John did remind me, and he spoke a little bit about it, is the stormwater retention ponds. We have over 40 stormwater retention ponds. We're spending a couple $100,000 each year going in and taking care of just a couple, but we don't have the equipment to go in there and maintain it. So they grow up and they grow trees and they cut up our tires later on if we ever get in there. A couple years down the road, I believe we had a Venge Trax that blew a tire every time it went down in there. So I do see the need. I always tell my department directors, you tell me what you need and I'll find you the money. And we're able to do it. And I do feel comfortable with this purchase. But there's going to be maybe a sacrifice and another piece of equipment next year. But I think with the savings of, well, using it more towards the stormwater retention ponds, keeping them, that gives us our MS4 credit. And we can maybe spend a little less money in going in and doing those maintenances down the road with our other ponds. Does that make sense?
That was maybe the question you already answered. Could we put this towards credit for MS4 if we're saying that we're using this piece of equipment to clean and maintain our retention ponds?
I'm not familiar with the MS4 application, but definitely going in there and maintaining those ponds, I would venture to say, yeah, we would get credits for that.
Now, in those ponds, when we get a contractor to come in to work on them, it's more than just mowing that they're doing, right?
Right, they're doing some pipe work, I believe, John.
Yes, they do a whole range of I mean, everything from clearing trees, brush. I mean, I don't want to get off on a tangent, but the retention ponds are an elephant in the room here. I mean, I could take you to retention ponds that you wouldn't know were retention ponds. I mean, they're overgrown like forests. And we do our best to, when we get a concern, to address them, but we're not even dealing with them. I mean, but once they're maintained by a contractor and cleaned out, then we should be able to maintain them.
Yeah,
That
that's
would be the
part of the
whole
scope of the
objective is-
work, that they go in
That's
there
what I
and
thought. I didn't
remove
know
all
if,
the
you know, if we
vegetation,
were
and then
gonna
if there's any
move
pipes that
towards,
need to be fixed.
maybe, redoing those projects in-house instead of getting a contractor.
We would love to do it in-house, but we need the equipment and the manpower too.
Well, yeah,
We're
there's-
lacking the
yeah,
manpower
there's
right
a-
now,
Yeah, they take time.
yeah. So,
Just to be clear, we're talking here is just to maintain them after they are cleaned out.
Correct.
Okay. And then one last question, John, if you
Sure.
can, and not to put you on a spot. This 45 hours, do you know how many hours we put on, like a mower here with the township in 1 year, in one summer?
I will gladly have an answer for you next Wednesday
Yeah,
night.
I'm just curious.
That mower runs from the start of growing season to the end, pretty much every day, except, if I have to pull the guy out for short staff because of vacations or sick or, but we, pretty much this summer, I think there's one day that I haven't utilized it because we have work orders in the hundreds for roadside mowing. And a lot of times they deal with sight distance, coming out of different streets onto, but I will have an answer for you on the hours.
I
It's
figured,
not a problem.
I'm assuming we go way over 45 a year on our mowers here, I would assume. I'm just curious. It's not a
I'll
big deal.
I'll get you an answer for next week.
Thanks.
would it be
Yes.
safe to say that probably 30 to 40 hours a week on a mower?
Oh, yes, sir.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
I'm figuring. Thank you.
Yes.
John, do you have any pictures that you can maybe have for us, if you have anything that we could put up
Absolutely. I can
of
put them
this?
together for next week.
And I
Sure.
just I'm in favor of this, just because it's a tool. It's just like any other tool that they have down at Public Works that they use on a daily basis. this is, to me, a tool that our Public Works needs to do their job. So, you know, I just think it's something that we're a first-class township, and we need to have our Public Works Director and our staff and help clean it up. And if that's what they need, there's tools, I'm in favor of it.
You don't know the 45 hours, if that, is that stretched out over a certain time? Like, are they still using it occasionally? And where I'm going with that is, my concern is if, you know, you put some hours on it and the machine sits, you know, and I'm assuming it's gonna have Tier 4 emissions, it takes the urea and stuff like that. You know, the components in that system are very expensive to replace. So I'm looking, you know, we're not just gonna be able to, it's not, you know, unload it and start mowing. There might be some, you know, more further investment into getting this thing ready to go.
To get into the technical part of that, I'll defer to our mechanics. But when we did go and look at it, I took both Corey and Mike up and ran the machine, took the operator, our guy that has the bid job, took him up. We started the machine, no issues. And I get it, that's not working yet. But took the machine out, ran it, started right up, no, you know, there were no issues. But I would just say that this is the first step, and you're probably going to get sick and tired of me asking for stuff. But we're getting way behind the times with our equipment. And
So we're gonna buy a 9-year-old mower?
Rich, the mower's or Commissioner Gray, the mower's 9 years old. There's no doubt about that. But things are based on hours. The mower has 45 hours. The plastic's still on the seat. It's basically a brand new machine.
Well, then what do you mean by we're getting behind the times?
Well, I'll give you an example. Whenever the last manager was here, Manager Silka, cut out buying one dump truck every year. That's like one of the worst mistakes we can make. We're going to pay the price for that for years to come. All our equipment is aging. The fleet is aging. Our backhoes are aging. Everything is getting old. I mean, I can give you guys an inventory of the years and hours, and we just had to put a considerable amount of money into our John Deere backhoe because there's no option. I mean, put approximately $12,000 into it. We're probably gonna have to put a little bit more in, but a new machine at this point is $150. We can only get so many things a year budget-wise, I understand. But when something comes along that we should take advantage of, I wouldn't want to pass it up.
I have an issue with buying a used mower with no warranty. And, I mean, a car loses 20%, if not more, of its value the minute you drive it off the lot. Having no warranty, do we have maintenance records on it?
Yes, every bit of paperwork that ever came with the tractor is there. It wouldn't even have any maintenance, I don't believe, yet with 45 hours. It wouldn't even have brake and oil changed. I'll say this to you, I'm not a tractor dealer, but I would guarantee you if we bought that for $90,000, we could turn around and put on municipal bid and we'd probably get bids for well more and make money. Those tractors aren't easy to get, as referenced by our having to wait a year.
Well, then, wouldn't the owner be better off selling it outright?
I believe they advertised it outright, but I don't think there's a huge market outside of municipalities, townships, Turnpike, PennDOT. When I say sell it, I mean that's who would probably be interested in that. It's not something that someone's going to cut their grass with. It's obviously it's a roadside mower. Could a private contractor purchase it? I suppose, but it's more suited for municipal work.
What was the use by the private owner? You said it was a farm?
Yes, it was purchased to maintain a dam at the farm.
Damn.
The owner is mortified of running the machine. They don't like it. They're scared of it because they're not used to it. It's not even ground. It's a myriad of issues they have. They're scared of it. That's the bottom line.
Do we have a sales receipt, what they paid for it?
Every ounce of paperwork that came with it.
Do we have that? We have
I
a
can-
bid from the private owner, and we have one from, who's that, Diamond Powers, or whatever it is, the spec sheet on the new one, the brand new one. And were the specs the same on both? I see a 50-inch and a 60-inch rotary head on the dealer model. It doesn't mention that on the private owner model. I think it says just 50-inch. I mean,
50-inch rotary head on the 22-foot Tiger boom mower. Now, that mower was put together at the exact same place where we would purchase a mower and have it put, that's who our, when we purchase a mower, that's where it would go to have all this service work done, you buy a John Deere tractor, and then they send it out to the Bengal mower dealer to have the arm installed. Everything was done exactly the same way as our mower purchase, goes out, has a boom arm put on.
okay. Well, you can see where I'm going with this. I'm not a fan of buying a used, no warranty from a private owner. We are a first-class township, like Tom said there. I think we should have first-class equipment and with a warranty. And
Well, with all due respect, Rich, I understand what you're saying, but you're saving north of $100,000 to have a second machine. We have 2 full-time mechanics, should something happen. I don't foresee something happen, and these mowers aren't made to break. They're made to run, they're farm tractors. They're made to run till the wheels come off. That last mower, the John Deere we have now, it ran, we had to replace the motor, but my God, it was run for 20 years before it had a major issue. Again, you guys are the boss, and it's up to your decision, but I'm never going to sit here and tell you something that I don't wholeheartedly believe in. I want to bring us to the next level, and obviously, money's always going to be a factor, but when something's available for this price, I wouldn't want to pass it up.
One other question I had for Manager Falk, I guess maybe for clarification, you said we got awarded that $70,000 towards this. We would have still purchased that mower that we did with a bid for $192 if we didn't get that. We would have needed to anyways.
Yeah, it's a reimbursement grant, so we have to spend the money, and then we
Yeah.
submit the paperwork and the invoices.
I'm saying we would have still purchased this mower. We would have had to purchase this mower regardless of us getting awarded that grant.
Yes. Yeah, we would be buying it even if we did not get the
I
grant.
mean, that's what I'm saying for clarification. So basically, if we could say that we are gonna use some of that grant money, even though we're putting that towards a newer mower, we're gonna basically be able to get a additional motor for possibly $20,000 because we would have had to buy this new one regardless.
Yes. It's one way of looking at it.
And let me say that I understand that you can't have 2 of everything. But when the mower went down the last time, we had to have the motor replaced. We were in a very bad situation. We ended up having to rent a mower, which cost us buku dollars. But the things we had to do to make things work for the weeks in between, it wasn't a pretty sight. I mean, we were out with weed whackers, and it was horrible. So to your point about things breaking down, if something does go down, whether it's warranty work or not, at least we'll have a backup machine.
Question, what was the original cost on this whenever it was, the agreement was made to purchase it? And are we getting it for that amount, or are we getting it for this 204,000 number?
No, the tractor that we have to purchase is $175,670.04. That is through U.S. Municipal, through CoStars that we did last year, or back in 2023 when I submitted the paperwork.
So we're getting it for that amount, we're not, this 204,000 is just the cost now?
The $204,000 was the other bid, was when the bids, we only received two bids, one for 90,000 and the other one was 204,000 at current price.
The,
So with inflation, it went up $25,000-$30,000.
Okay, thank you.
I believe they purchased the 2016 mower for approximately $140,000 in 2016. So you extrapolate that out to now and inflation and costs going through the roof with everything. But, yeah, it was somewhere in the neighborhood of $140,000 from what I can gather.
Any other board questions or comments? Just put it on the agenda for next week.
Okay. That is all I have. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Manager Falk. Plan and engineering topics, Community Development Director Andrew Kovich.
Just one this month, S-15 of 2025, the Snyder subdivision. This is a proposed subdivision located off of Clay Pike near Indian Lake Park. John Krupe is the applicant and currently has the property under contract to purchase from John and Deborah Snyder of 2665 Snyder Lane. The applicant is looking to subdivide the existing 3.576 acre parcel into two separate lots, Lot 1 containing 1.881 acres and Lot 2 containing 1.601 acres. Both lots would meet the minimum dimensional requirements in an R3 zoning district. According to the applicant, the existing house on Lot 2, which is highlighted in green, will be raised. With the creation of Lot 1, the accessory garage, highlighted in orange, does not meet the current zoning setbacks and will either need zoning hearing board approval or need to be removed. At the August 4th meeting, the Planning Commission recommended this plan for approval by a vote of 7-0 with the following conditions. 1 would be sewage planning approval by the PADEP. 2 would be a house on Lot 2 will need to be raised within 18 months of the approval of the subdivision. And number 3, Lot 1 would need to have the house built along to be able to keep the garage and zoning hearing board approval, or the garage would need to be removed within 18 months of the approval of the subdivision also. That's really it, pretty simple subdivision. Any questions?
Thank you.
In that case, that's all I have.
Any further board comments? I just did have one. Someone asked about why some staff wasn't here available at work session meetings. Usually staff comes if there's topics on work session meetings, so staff's not required to come to our work session meetings unless they have topics to bring up to the Board of Commissioners. So if anyone was wondering why some staff wasn't here, staff just come to work session meetings if they have things on the agenda for that work session. But all the staff will be here at our regular meetings.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Discussion? All those in favor by state and aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 7-0, meeting adjourned at 7:52.